recording. Nice. Okay, I wanted to prepare another video. It has been forever since the last time. Um, Lately, I have been playing quite a video game, and I wanted to take the best from that. I wanted to prepare a result, a presentation, especially to learn myself to be more aware about the actions I'm taking. So maybe this is going to be useful for you. Maybe it's not going to be adequate, and you consider that it's too superficial. But well, I want to do that by myself, and if you can take something from that, well, that will be awesome. Of course, at the end of the presentation, I'm gonna let the people in the comments to ask questions, and I will answer them. Okay. Um, okay. So let's go. Maybe there are gonna be mistakes. There are gonna be so many misspellings. Maybe there's gonna be whatever. It's very casual. Okay. Let's go. So the presentation, okay, is about the video game World of Warships, the version Blitz. Blitz is the for the mobile, and I want to compare with the companies. Okay, so this is the summary. Can we improve our company by playing a game? Okay, feel free to read. I'm not gonna be reading this. You can do. I'm gonna try to go quicker. Okay, so you can later go back. You can pause. You can research a little bit. Okay, but I want to give you the idea. So try to take this presentation like a reflection, okay, for yourself about in the company you are and in this kind of keywords that I'm gonna be giving you, this kind of brainstorming, how it squares, no, with your company and what are you doing right and what maybe it doesn't make sense, no, so you can improve yourself and the company you are and your future probably. Okay, so I'm trying to compare both of them. Okay, just playing a lot to the video games. Every time you are playing a game, you feel that okay, you want to do better, better, better. Okay, so that's the goal of this presentation. Who I am, probably you know me. You can search LinkedIn, whatever. As I said, this presentation could have been public. Well, I think I didn't say. Oh, okay, it could be public, okay, because we are with the COVID situation. I just wanted to do the exercise. So at the end, I'm an amateur player. I don't consider myself professional. I'm not trying to play very hard, but I think I know the keys to become much better. Okay, and on the other side, I'm a director of engineering. I need to take decisions, okay, all the days with my teams. So I think it squares pretty well. That's why I'm very interested. Okay, so the first thing, okay, that we're going to talk about the game is the description, okay, what is this game about? So in the high level definition, okay, this is the Blitz, the version Blitz is smaller than the Mac Windows version, okay, there is a Mac Windows version, you can search in YouTube a lot of videos of that, it's awesome, okay, so it's a reduced, it's a simplified version, okay, of that one. It's just battleships, okay, cruisers, destroyers, ships that they kill. No, you need to kill to the other team. No, so it's a 7 versus 7 players, or maybe there are bots, but it's better with players. And in 7 minutes, okay, from one side to the other, you just need to kill to the other team. It's pretty simple. Well, this is the configuration interface when you install in your phone, in my Android in this case. You have the interface, you have here the ships, here some boss equipment, here, well, this is the shopping site here. This is your score in this season. This is the avatar you want, wherever you want. The name, the team you are working on, and then some stats. Okay, well, some what you have of different kind of coins, no? Um, this is the combat interface. So now we are talking about the game. I'm not gonna have too many of these. Okay, well, I think I only have this one. So you're gonna need to check videos, okay, or try to look somewhere else. But the truth is, you don't really need. Okay, you can imagine you have the ship here. You can just attack. You can point to the targets and then attack. These ones, they are my allies. Okay, here you can see, and you have to. In this case, you have to capture the enemy flag. Okay, of course you have the controls, etc. I will talk a little bit later about this. So let's move on. But you know how it's gonna be the game. So you have the ship, and you're gonna be attacking other type of ships, which is very fun. So the main goals. We're talking about the game, okay? When we are in this kind of color, this is about the game. So it's the World of Warship Blitz. The main goals is one to have fun, okay? This is a video game at the end, but have fun. You don't need to, as I said, exactly a professional. Well, that's a professional. So um, take it easy, okay? Sometimes you want to disconnect. You're gonna learn a little bit of history, but you want to have fun. That's very important. And the second thing is the win rate. No, the win rate is the times. No, you win. Sometimes you're gonna lose because other teams they're gonna be stronger than you. You are making mistakes, but the point is you want to raise your win rate. That's gonna be what we want in this presentation. Okay. Um, the goal is destroy all the enemy ships or do the goal that is the map specific. So there are two tactics you can follow up, and then the map specific there are three types. Okay, base capture that you have to go and take this area I showed before from the enemy. Center control, so we take more points just in the middle, or domination that there are several areas and you are taking all of them and keeping them. Okay, so 7 minutes. Uh, this is company, okay? So this is, I said, is Blitz, this is company. So in a company, comparing to the game, no, we describe the game right now, we are in the description, let's remember that. Don't give up too early, okay? You're a company, you prepare your startup or whatever, and the market is telling you or you are failing. So be careful, don't give up too early. You don't want to just start the game and just throw it away and, oh, I burn out. So maybe you want to keep going and of course become profitable. No, it depends the ratios, depends level, but you want to provide value, okay? Value, and at the end of the day you are solving a problem for someone. That's super important. Okay. Business model of your startup, you can use, for example, the business model Kanban. You can just fill in the types of partners, activities, resource propositions. So with this one, if you feel about your company, everybody else is going to understand very well what you try to make. No, what is the business, what is the money, what is the stream revenue streams, what is the cost. You have a big picture. No, there are other tools. For example, here the Warly Maps. This telling you more about, well, you can apply to anything, but you can see the projection, how is going to be the market, how is going to be your company, what you want to achieve, what are the key points. Okay, you're going to need to order, you're going to need to set some inertias, you're going to need to understand. So this is another technique, okay, well, another methodology that it helps you, okay, to define and describe your company to other people, okay, to synchronize. Okay, good. So we understand. We are a game, battles, they attack, there is players. Okay, so the second thing, after we understand the basics of the game, we go to the rules. No, the rules are the what we could say, no, more basics, but they are changing, no, the equation. So the just to understand what I meant is the type of ships you have: destroyer, cruiser, battleship, and then aircraft. In the World of Warships, the PC version, you also have submarines now in beta, which I think is very funny. Okay, the point here is that there are four types, and each one of them is kind of better on some skills. No, so you need to know that a destroyer is better against a battleship against a cruiser against a destroyer. This is basic, and a lot of people they don't follow this rule. So they try to attack to one type of ship that they are not the best type. No, so you need to understand the kind of advantages you have and use them. No, but this is important. You understand the rules. Okay. For example, one of the things that you must do is I love aircraft. Okay, so I am stronger in the aircraft, but I also play with other type of ships. Why? Because I need to understand them. Okay, that's super important. Why? Because, well, they're gonna be attacking you, and you need to know how much can they move their angle, how fast they are gonna arrive. So all these variables they need to be there in the game. So you need to know because the others they are using. So of course the most important, and here is crucial, is you need to read the official documentation. What does it mean? It means that you need to spend time taking a look to other players and professional ones, people that they are really high in the score. They have been even in the league. There is a tournament. I think it was at the end, at least in the past, there was a tournament of teams that they were fighting each other. So, hey, that's important to check that and see how they are playing to make you an idea how you should be playing. Okay, we're gonna go deeper later. An example of the complexity. Okay, when you just shoot to another battleship, there is layers of shield, and you're gonna need to penetrate. So depends the angle. This is gonna affect more, less. Depends where about the ship is gonna be more, less. Uh, you can also the modules. So it's pretty complex. Of course, when you are playing, it's like okay, you just shoot, shoot, shoot. You just position somewhere, you shoot again. But it's much more than that, and you need to understand because if you don't understand, people they're gonna be able to kill you pretty easily. No, instead, if you know what to do, you can cover yourself much better. Okay, very important. Okay, I'm going pretty quickly for what it means, but I hope that you can pause it and think twice. Okay, like okay, Sergio, what is talking about? Important for me was very important to the presentation and realize myself because I really went okay to the documentation and I dig into them and watch a lot of videos how they're really playing. Even people in Spanish, they also have channels. Pretty interesting. Okay, so we go to company. Okay, so everything we mentioned about that, hey, Sergio, you need to know the rules of the game to play it well. You need to apply also to your company. You need to understand what you are doing, or and it sounds like funny, but uh, there are too many cases that you're gonna see that they don't really know what they are doing. So that's something, okay, for realization. So product and development. No, I'm talking, of course, I'm more in the engineering side, so I'm gonna be biased to this area, but you can apply to all the types of company. Okay, what is important is as a person, as a human, as someone who cares about your company, you need to understand the process end to end. You need to understand from the moment that you have input to where you have output. Okay, and then you can have some organizational methodologies like agile. You can apply whatever you want. Okay, it's just a name. It's important. Okay, to have the skilled employees. Okay, it's important about I mentioned legacy, innovation, whatever, and third party services. Okay, you need people that they know what they are doing. If you are selling, I don't know, food, you need a chef who is skilled, who is motivated, who really knows what he's doing. Okay, maybe you are just a businessman, but you want someone who really knows and understand what they are doing. And then, well, maybe there are sometimes that there are assets. Okay? But it's very important you start thinking about product side. Okay. Of course, I mentioned here SWOT analysis. This is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. This is gonna go more directly to the part of employees and well, the company sometimes products. Okay, understand your limitations. Super important. When you are in a ship, you need to understand what is your velocity. When you are in a company, you need to understand how many employees you need for this task. Okay, of course you can change later, iterate, whatever, but you need to understand. Okay, super well what is said sometimes in hyper realism. And well, employees are humans. You need to be careful with that. There is the bus counters. If people they are failing, if people they need more time, resources, you need to be super careful there. Okay, so be careful. Be careful with employees are people. They can be sick. They can be depressed. They can be super happy. They can be working more than expected. They can burn out or they can change companies. So you need to be super careful. And doing this tool can be useful for you. Well, there are more on that. Okay, wireless doctrine. This is similar to what we mentioned about wireless maps, but it's another version. It's with a table. You just put colors, okay, in each one of them, like how you consider that something. It can be your company. It can be just one product. It can be one small specific topic. So you put colors. You try to understand if you know if you are doing properly, if you are applying to whatever you want, and then you can also add in the table. Some comments, no comments notes about okay, what do we need to improve. This is something we use in my company. Okay, very important in your company, the rules. We are talking about rules as the thing. So read the documentation. The same as I mentioned in the game, you need to understand what is the game about. So here is the same. If you are mm, doing whatever area, you need to know what you are doing. And hey, all the topics they have a lot of documentation, a lot of research. You can do always better. Okay, so don't get narrowed down and into say, oh no, I know everything. My whatever I'm selling is the best. No, maybe it can be better. So important to keep reading, learning, etc. Okay, for example, in my webpage, I made a resume about the books I have been reading lately. So if you are interested in more information on any of them, just ask me. Okay. So okay, we know the description. We know what is the game about. We know the rules, kind of some algorithms. We understand like well, it's important to understand um, the complexity, no, we mentioned. So now let's go to the metrics. Here I'm focusing more in statistics, numbers, okay, things that you can measure. So the first thing I talked a little bit before, but again, you have the big screen here. You can see communication. You can communicate with your team. That's very nice. You can manage, okay, the velocity, the speed, and then how you go to the left or to the right. You have a limit, which is very important to know. This is the life of your ship. Here is the status. So this means that there are two destroyers in each team. There are two destroyers. There is one cruiser, and then there are three battleships and one aircraft. Okay, that's super important. This start the game is just start, and you are here in the minimap. That's super important. The minimap is maybe 50% of your time. You need to be looking at the minimap, and then you know where you are. Okay, you are here. It doesn't show, but it's here. It's being shown, and then the ships. So you can intuit that the other ships they are here. Okay, and you need to capture the different areas. Okay, and then well the play starts, and then you go up and you kill each other. Okay, that's very very fun. But the most important here is minimap and map, and you need to have one eye in the minimap and one eye in the map. So the maps, no? I mean, we are talking about the metrics. Metrics means information, and before you start the game, you need to have already in your brain like, okay, what is gonna happen, no? In the moment it's gonna start. I think in the next screen it's gonna be better, but here you can see that there are the types. Okay, these ones they are the center, and these ones they are to manage the different areas for the 7 minutes. Okay, and this one is to control the enemy. Okay, so you can maybe do a tactic. You can go with destroyer, and you can steal that. No, so that's fun. Okay, enhance your stats. That's very important. For this is the commander, so you assign to the battleship, or in this case the aircraft, and you can select what you want to be better at, and you have to choose. So when you choose, decision make. That's very important. Okay, this talk is about that, and later you can select your supplies. Okay, this is very very important. You need to understand. You need to know depending on the type of ship. You need to set one of them, and depends how you want to play later. Then this is some numbers, okay, about how well you are doing or how bad. Okay, normally the win rate to be this match is not very good. Okay, it's pretty amateur, but it's just neutral. And then depends the type of ship. You have a better ranking or less ranking. Some people when they want to be your friends, they can select and see this screen, and they can be like, okay, you are not good enough to be my friend. So that happens. Okay, we were talking about metrics. Okay, we were talking about information and your company. Okay, that's important. Organize your data. You need to understand what data you have in the company, all types. Okay, from employees to your product, SLOs, whatever you want. But you need to understand. And here I'm saying, no, that well, I'm pointing out. Yes, that's I didn't discover nothing at all. From unstructured data, okay, you want to move to a structured data. Structured data is going to really give you more links, more relations. You can gonna analyze later. You can get more insights. When a structured data is important to keep it. It's important to start saving it, but later maybe there is a moment you want to even delete. Depends the cost, etc. So that's very important. Okay, that's super 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 critical. Well-known methodologies, what we talked before. Okay, the thing that we learn about the game that you need to be aware about where is the minimap, where is the stat, where is here you need to do the same. And when you have a methodology, okay, you are tracking that. You want the other employees to know what kind of methodology you know. So maybe use well-known methodologies. They're going to be faster for the others to tell them the name. Like, hey, we are using objective key results. Okay, I mean they can search a lot of information in the community, but maybe if you make your custom methodology, maybe they need to start learning from zero, from scratch. So maybe that's gonna be worse. Okay, so there are some common names that they are standard in the industry. So you want to use them. Of course, you need to be aware about absolutely all the departments that you are managing the company, absolutely all of them. There is right now a lot of tools that they can make visualizations. There are a ton of types of graphs. You want to track that. I mean, imagine that you are playing a game and you don't have the minimap and you are blind there with your ship. Like, okay, where are the others? I don't know. Or even the type of ships, no? Or like, oh, I saw a ship, but maybe it's an aircraft, maybe it's a destroyer. it's stupid, right? So here in the company, you must apply the same. Something that is very simple, that is the game, just again and again and again. It's something that in the company sometimes they don't follow. They don't. You ask them like, hey, how many clients do you have? I don't know. I have some clients. I have a big one, but I don't know how many small. Okay, maybe you should know, no? Or maybe you try to open too many products and they are not tracking. So you need to that. You need to track almost everything except you know that it's not useful at all and you want to delete. Okay, if you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. Okay, this is Peter Drucker. We're gonna talk a little bit later about him, but it's a very important point. You want to improve in the game. Every game, every time you start the game, you need to learn from the previous mistakes, and you want to say, okay, if in the last game you got a destroyer who attack you with the torpedoes and they destroy your battleship, you need to anticipate, you need to understand how it happened so you can improve that tactic. Okay, we will talk a little bit later. Good, good. So experience, okay. Every time, every point, as you can see, we're going deeper and deeper. Okay, so we talk about the fundamentals, but now it's more fun. Okay, we start with what means, no, the difference between the amateur player and the professional player. So it's about strategy and tactic. Um, I don't want to dig in too much into the into the game because at the end it's gonna be stupid if you don't really know the game. But I want to mention, no, the kind of some tactics that I'm using day by day. The first one, okay, and that's the most important so far for me, is ask the right question. This is my quote. Ask the right question in the game is this player, is this enemy that I have ahead of me a professional or an amateur? It's like what is his level of seniority? And this question is wow, is a game changer. Why? Because in the moment you understand what type of player you are fighting with, you're gonna follow one strategy or another one. You are gonna make more complex strategy to try to decoy, to try to avoid, to try to, or you're gonna go against him, and that's super important. And the same question you can apply to your company. The same one. It's like, hey, what I'm dealing with, what is here in front of me. So if you don't know, like, your probabilities are gonna be very very low. So that's key. Okay, I hope you get that and stop here and think twice about this. It's very very important. Ask the right questions for to yourself. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Ask to yourself. Let's talk a little bit about the strategy. Strategy is about long term or middle term plan that you propose for yourself. That this plan is gonna be is gonna be premeditated. It's gonna be something that you know beforehand. And well, yeah. Let's give three examples. Okay, the first one is invest on a single skill. What I mean with this one is you remember before the screenshot about the stats. So you can enhance, you can focus in one stat. For example, you can turn right, left very quickly, or you can go faster, the acceleration, for example. So these kind of skills, you can focus in one of them. So when the enemy thinks that you are slower, maybe you are faster. When the enemy thinks that you cannot turn on the torpedoes, you can, or maybe you think that the aircraft can do this, you cannot. So, or for example, the fire, no, when there is fire in the ship, so maybe you want to avoid the weakness of your ship, no. So here is the same. And think while I'm talking about the game, think about your company. Like, hey, what are my weakness? What I'm investing to fix? Okay, so this is important. Elaborate a map strategy already mentioned, but maybe it's important to say, okay, in this one there are so many rocks I can go in the border, or maybe no. And then team ups with friends. Okay, we're gonna talk later more about that, but team ups with friends, that's super important. Maybe you are communicating, maybe you are in the Discord channel and you are talking with them like, hey guys, do this, do that. In the communication of the game is nice, but doesn't have all the real communication. So maybe you want to enhance that, no? So using that is gonna give you, well, much better opportunities to the win rate. And then we talk about strategy, and we're gonna talk about tactic. No, tactic is what's gonna happen. You are there in the game, and you are like, okay, I need to do this. No, for example, I love a lot predictive firing. No, so you know, like, okay, this guy he's gonna turn right, he's gonna move. Maybe when you are a battleship, you are 5, 10 seconds until the payload drops and arrives to the other ship. So you know that it's slow. So you need to be careful and predict where he's gonna be. And depends what he's fighting with. You're gonna try to do that tactic. No, but the tactic is something quick, something like you need to decide in one moment. No, like are you gonna turn left or right? That's gonna change the game. So that's super important. Let me not go through each one of them, but this is what is making you the professional player. When you start, you know where you go, etc. Okay. So then, company. As I said, I'm a director of engineering. I need to work with this staff, high level decisions. So the first one is create a powerful story and purpose. No, you need to explain to the people what you're working on, how you're working on. You need to explain simple, quickly, and have this power. No, motivate the people. Like, wow, yeah, yeah, I want to work with you because I think you are making something is gonna be decisive. The other one, milestones. Try to divide and conquer, like to make it smaller. I don't want to do everything at once. It's kind of impossible. Set reachable goals, very similar. No, don't try too much at the same time. Get surrounded by the best talent. Okay, is strategy, long strategy. Invest on them. Maybe they're gonna be a bit more expensive, but these people they're gonna give much better results. Document all the processes. For example, run books. Every time you are doing something, left the documentation. You want people to know why you took some decisions. You want people to know why this is happening. So that's important to document. Okay, document everything. You want to invest in quality. And then, well, collaborative decision maker. Later is a little bit more, but collaborative, that's very important. Okay, several brains, they think more than one. This strategy, this is long term, things that you can apply to your company. Of course, the company is much more complex than the game. The game, at the end of the day, when you know the tactics, the strategies, you have iterated several times, you know it. But the the company is always going to surprise you. Okay, tactics. Over communicate every time. Even you said something to someone, maybe you can say it again. People they need to get inspired, motivated. You need to be all the time there and be sure that when you said something and it's important, you said that. Reinforce the personal trust. Okay, one on ones, create boundaries. Be sure that you are on top. Be sure that you can be the person that they're gonna tell you what's going on. You want to intervene in the conflicts, propose solutions, okay, with problems. When you are just identifying a problem, like, okay, this is broken, this is not working, the people they are not working in the speed we expected, so propose a solution. No, it is easy to identify the problem, but to propose solutions, here I am in plural because I always sometimes I say alternatives. No, alternatives will be nicer because the solution is the one that you choose from the alternatives. And then, well, something that is could be a tactic. It will be prepared before the meetings. Prepare the agenda to the meetings. Can be this set as a strategy sometimes. No, it depends when is the long term or the short term. In the game, clearly, this tactic is what you are gonna do immediately. A strategy is what you are planifying to set the stats to have these boosters, whatever it is. Okay, even better than the point before. Team. This is crucial. Okay, this is crucial. We are talking that there are 7 against 7, and each one of them matters. In the game, it's pretty easy to see who is the friends and who is the foes, but in companies, it's slightly different. No. Let me introduce. Here is what happens when you are just starting a new game. This is what you see in the screen. Okay, this is my team. I'm here, and then is the enemy team. No, just in these 10-20 seconds you have, you can analyze the game and you can start deciding your strategy. Let's analyze very quickly what it means. So here you have the team. Maybe you know about the team, like, okay, this team is good, and then these guys they're gonna play better. Okay. Here is the name. The name can be changed, so you don't really need to think about that too much. You have the title. This can be set by the person. So as I said, beginner, but it's not true. I can set a higher level, but I don't want because I want to give the feeling like, oh yeah, I'm a beginner. Let's this guy play a little bit. So here you see the level of the ship. If you see this means that the ship is completed, so you invest in all the stats. So this is the higher rank, this one. For example, this person, okay, this is the different icon. This is a destroyer, and then you know that this one has research, all the stats, and this one didn't have it. So it means that this one is gonna win by default to the other one. Okay, of course, depends the type of the ship. Some ships they have better stats, less stats. If you know the ships, you're gonna be in a much stronger position than if you don't know the ships. But of course, it's difficult. That's why I said before that you need to play to other type of ships. So even I like aircrafts, I'm playing here with the destroyer because that's also fun and you learn how the competitor. So also about the bonus, this is the bonus, this is the camouflage that they are using in the ship, but this is giving you a bonus. So it means that if you are using a bonus, you are smarter. And a lot of games, you're gonna see that people they don't use a bonus, and it's like you are losing the opportunity to just set a even a simple bonus that is gonna help you in some stats. You have the avatar. The avatar also is telling you what kind of player we are talking about. Some avatars they are free, some avatars they are not free, and some avatars that you got because you finish a season, you are the top player, you are someone special. So if you know the avatars, you can also know a little bit what's gonna happen. Okay, and this one is the season rank. Okay, so it means that almost all of us in this my team, we are the top ranking of this season. So it means that we play a lot. So it means that we know how to play and we're gonna make a very good play. Instead, here you can see only one of them is this level, so it's the opposite. But these guys, well, they are lower. They are lower. So it means that in the last days, okay, in the last days, this is what it means. In the last days, they didn't play so much, okay, in this season. Maybe they play a lot in the past, okay. Maybe these guys they are awesome and they play a lot and they're gonna crash to us. But these guys, at least, they are saying, oh, okay. And here you can see the map. Okay, you can see the type of map, the cage, the maps I showed you before, and here is the type of map and how long it's gonna take. Okay, I discovered some days ago. I didn't know that the color also matters. So this is a premium ship. This I think super premium ship, and these my ships they are normal ships. Okay, so there are some of them that they are have to pay. So this is one of pay. It doesn't mean that it's better, but it means something. When you start the game and it's like, okay, we have two special ships. They don't have any. We're gonna win. I will be a bit careful about this commander because it's a special title. So it means that this guy he's pretty good. But at the end, this if you look like to this one to this screen, you can think that you're gonna win the game, okay? Because everybody knows how to play as a team, okay? That this is the most important thing. You are playing as a team. You are playing with all of you together, okay? You are not playing alone. You are playing with the team. But the truth is, we lost. We lost this game, okay? That's very funny because like, what? What? I mean, it seems that you were gonna win. I mean, all the things make you think that you're gonna win. Well, no, we lost. We didn't play properly, or something happened, and they win. They win the game. So you need to be always careful. You can higher or lower the probability, but you don't really know. Don't be sure 100%. Okay, the other thing is you can train with your fleet. So I am in one team. There are 100 people in that team. I just joined because it's auto recruiting, so it's not that I'm so addicted, but it helps. And in the team, you can play with other people, with your friends, and set a map wherever you want. And then you can play strategies. That's what we talk about a bit before. So this is the experience. No, every time you are training, every time you are looking what happened after you finish the game, there are 3 modes of view, so you can check it and you can learn. You can do the retrospective. Okay. Well, the point of this it was about the team. Okay, so it's very important about what the team can do together. Okay, and here is something funny that is like, can you win yourself against all of them? Here is a game that I did pretty high damage. I sink 5 ships. Okay, which is well, from 7, 5, but it doesn't really say more, okay? It could be like I was just giving the last attack and I was making that. In any case, the answer is no. You cannot win. You cannot win yourself, okay? I did a great score, flags, whatever. You cannot win yourself. You need to work with the team to make sure that some of you know what you are doing. You are getting a very good position in the map. You are doing decoys. You can do the different tactics to make sure that the enemy is going to be losing ship by ship. No, so it's very important the teamwork. This game is super, super, super important the teamwork, and of course, it's as important your teamwork as their teamwork. If they are not working together, it's gonna be much more easier you win. If they are gonna be working together, etc. I mean, you see that you start the game, you ask the question I mentioned before, like, hey, how good they are, and you find out that these guys they are gonna make a difficult play, and then you have to change your strategy, or it's gonna be a big win because they're gonna make it easy for you. Okay, yeah. So one thing that this is coming from Google, okay, so Google they know what they are doing a little bit, and they are saying who is on the team matters less than how the team members interact, structure their work, and build their contributions. So of course, this is talking about company already. We are moving the company side, but in the game is the same as I said. Is how they are moving, how they are positioning, and what they're gonna let you to be. In the moment, for example, that you see, because there is a lot of rules about what you can see, how they can see you, how etc. So when you see another type of ship that is not the easiest ship against you, you need to move, and then someone else needs to change that. So the point of this sentence is it doesn't really matter. You are so many stats, you are so accurate. It means that you need to work all together. And that's very important. This is said, the name that it has in company side is team dynamics. Team dynamics. So this is about how it's working the whole company. Later we talk a little bit more. So we are talking about people, okay, about team, and in a company you have, well, normally you have the board, okay. So there are different agreements in the board. You need to start properly from the first moment, okay. When in the moment you start the game and you start with your commander, you are setting to the commander the stats, so you cannot reset later. That's pretty bad because what it means is you need to start properly. So what I'm saying here in about the company is when you start a company and you have the right documents properly right, because probably you have experience that you did several companies, that's going to be better later because there is going to be conflicts which you want to avoid. Okay, sometimes cognitive load. So here is very important. I mentioned the board. That's one of the teams that is super important for the company. It's a good or bad start. It's gonna be debt that you wanna have to be paying later. Um, Employees, you need to track of them. Here I mentioned some of the things that we are using in some companies. This is about rubrics. Okay, you need to how can I say, follow up the employee, and you need to reward as they are progressing in your company. Okay, 360 degrees. This is peer feedback, and then your feedback as a manager. Okay, that's very important to track that. Then customers, you need to use different tools to understand what they want, how they want, what they don't want, why they want what you want, what is their behavior. Like, okay, I'm doing this, I have time for this, I don't have time for that. So try to make a target about which is your customers. That's going to be super important for your company. It's the same as I mentioned. You are a destroyer, you want to attack to a battleship. If you see a cruiser, maybe you want to leave. But oh, you saw the aircraft over there. Okay, the aircraft is weak to all the ships. Okay, you're gonna chase the aircraft. You're gonna try to hide through the torpedoes. That's what you need to do. You need to know the other the targets. No, so here is the same. Here is the same. Absolutely the same. It's just much more complex. Much more complex. And then, well, market, and this is very, very, very interesting about the team dynamics. Here you have different teams, no, different people. Some of them, as I said, investors, your employees, partners, competitors, clients, customers, and you need to categorize them as: are they friends? Are they neutral and they don't care about you, or they are enemies? No, so here you need to clarify that by yourself and the kind of people that they are working closer to you, because sometimes you're going to be surprised that maybe your employees are your enemies and you are trying to get a goal and they have a conflict of of interest. No, maybe the investors, maybe they are the enemies, or maybe the competitors. Some competitors can even change from, okay, I'm neutral now, I'm a friend now, I'm later, I'm not, I'm against you. Hey, maybe with the client, maybe with the customer. Maybe. So you need to identify that. You need to make this kind of graph and say, okay, I can work with these guys. I cannot work with that. In the game, it's very easy. You know, hey, there are 7 enemies. Okay, I have 6 friends. Okay, let's go together. But in the real life, you don't know, and that's very important to identify. If you don't do, that's something. It sounds very obvious, but when you stop it and you start thinking like, in my company, are we doing that? Maybe, but maybe no, or maybe you don't know. But that's important to understand with who is around you and how he's gonna behave with you. Okay, again, Peter Druger. Management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things. Okay, that's I love the sentence. Leadership needs to delegate, no, to management to execute. And well, leadership is the brain. No, they need to set up the direction. Management needs to make that happen. No, as it happens. So you need to understand your position. You need to understand and know yourself. If you cannot cross the map in 1 minute, maybe you don't want to start crossing the map. No, maybe you are in the next point and the game is finishing. You need to understand where you are and you need to behave as that role, because if you don't behave your role, someone else is gonna be have to change, and probably they're gonna do worse than you are. Pretty complex, pretty complex. So 6 points, one of the last. Probabilities. At the end, this point is pretty short, but I love it because it's everything. You're in the game and you are all the time taking decisions, left, right. Now here in the rock, let's wait, let's shoot, uh, and you are all the time, absolutely all the time taking micro decisions, macro decisions, but it's about probabilities. Is there is a probability of this happening or this not happening, and everything. Maybe you don't know what is a probability. Maybe there is estimation. Maybe, but it's probability. It's very mathematical, but you need the lucky variable, no, that you need to understand and play with that. Let's go deeper now. So in the game itself, practice makes the master. Every game I have done, I have been thinking about the last one, continuous retrospective. I have been learning from them, and I became better and better and better. Of course, there were some games that I just failed there because I didn't care at all, and I was too aggressive trying to do something crazy. But I learn and I try to avoid. Now when I'm playing serious, but I see that the team is serious, like okay, these guys they want to win, we are gonna win probably. Okay, but because you practice a lot, there are people that they have won 10,000 battles, and that's easy. And in my case, I have 1,000 battles, around 1,000 battles. Yeah. Of course, depends the ship, depends a lot of times. But yeah, as I said, I'm the best in aircrafts. And when you see the other people playing with aircrafts, and you are like, oh, what the hell are they doing? Because well, they need to practice. They didn't realize, or they are just not so trying to become that. No, so try different strategies. This is what I said. All the time changing. Okay, let's go with these guys. Okay, no, let's go alone. Let's go this. No, let's use the communication to explain. Change different strategies. Every time you try something new, then you have an experience. Of course, be careful. That's a tendency. It doesn't mean that the next time is going to be successful, because maybe the other person you were playing with, the enemy, was better and he knew. No, so you need to challenge yourself there. Be emotionless. That's super important. That's something that, please think about the company. Okay, think the same. Like, be emotional when you are in a game and they are attacking you and you are in the middle of several enemies. I mean, you need to be called and say, okay, what is going to be the tactic that is going to give you the most score for getting points, and this point is going to be money and coins for later. No, so what is the tactic for throwing the torpedoes in the last second and then you die, but these torpedoes, they are going to hit someone. So you need to become emotional. It's very easy to break yourself or to be like panicking, like, oh, they are attacking me. No, you need to be super emotional, super cold, and like, okay, I'm doing this, and okay, I'm gonna be destroyed. Okay, next game doesn't matter, but I learned this. I did that. No, I saw what was happening, because a lot of times, because you are looking where you are aiming to, you are forgetting the mini map, and in the mini map there are things happening. So you need to be emotionless. If you lose because something, that's it. doesn't nothing happens. But the most important here is in the game you cannot blame to anybody. You can blame just by yourself, and this is super powerful because you know that if you want to become better, is I mean the fault is yours. It's not someone else. It's not like oh the team was not playing well. I mean okay maybe they're not playing well, but are you the best of the team? So you are the best in the in the losers. Are you the less loser? So don't blame to the others. Don't even blame to the team. Like hey, they didn't know the strategy. Hey, if you start the game and you see that they don't know, you need to change your strategy and say, hey, I'm not gonna follow this guy. I wanna go, or I'm gonna follow them. I'm gonna, and that's very nice tactic. Be very close to them, but you use them as a shield. So you are using them like attack, but you are hitting them, and you are really doing a lot of not points, even well points, but also you are killing them. Um, that's very important. Play with the others, but even if they don't want to play with you, you are playing with them. Play to win or the opposite. Okay, this is a pattern that is doing the inverse. So it's not you are not playing to win, but you are playing to avoid losing. So maybe if you don't lose, that's good enough. No, that's what the difference about the professional and the amateur, no, and the person who is just playing for playing. That the professional is counting the time of winning. The amateur is just well don't like okay maybe don't lose. And then continuous retrospective. Think all the time like, hey, what happened? What happened? Why did it happen? Why did it happen? Try to go deeper, 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 and understand that. Okay, so this is about the game. That's super funny, and I think that that's very interesting. And when you are playing with people that they really care, and you know that there is this strategies, it can be super powerful. And at the end, it's about fun. So you become good because you want to have more fun, no? And to be fighting with. Okay, we're gonna be trolling and do this and that. Strategy is super fun. Okay, let's talk about this book, The Effective Executive by Peter F. Drucker. I mentioned already a couple times him. Um, this is coming from his book. What I mentioned in here is one side of the book. He's taking this from Bale and Sloan. These guys, well, they are coming from the Second World War. They set a system of innovation in USA with DARPA and other companies. It's amazing. Okay, these guys they start what is the new things we are gonna be talking now. But this is the basics, okay? This is the basics. This is about how to take decision, okay? We are talking about decision making. This is about okay, in the company you need to take decisions, okay? What you need to think about, okay? The game is very immediate decisions. A lot of time is left right. But in the company is super complicated, and you need to if you follow a pattern that I'm describing here and more, you're gonna be more successful. You're just increasing the probabilities. Okay, that's the point we are talking now. So you want to increase that. So good. The point is the process that these guys they said is okay. Is this a generic situation or an exception? You want to find out the events. You want to do a pattern, and then you want to set up a decision. Okay, that is gonna be across them. Understand, get the boundary conditions. This is about understand the problem very well. What are the limitations? What are the variables? No, what is the first variable the most important, etc., etc., or are the secondary effects? No, then what is right? What is right means that what is right? The word right, no, it's like what is right. It's not so easy to understand what is right. A lot of times we are like, oh no, this is right. No, this is your opinion, and your opinion is gonna have this problem that you didn't consider. So don't leave your instinct. Think about properly, rational. Okay, there is no magic. Then, of course, convert the decision into action, and then feedback for validation and ensuring that your decision was properly taken. This is the basic. Okay, so what happened in the book is this guy Peter he improved that. He added a couple elements. He's adding more stuff. It's a very nice book to read. Um, but this guy he said a couple things that is very interesting. That's first one. Okay, at the end of their quotes. Finding the appropriate measurement is thus not a mathematical exercise, which I don't agree. Of course, it's very difficult to get the formula, but I think that it's a mathematical exercise. It is a risk-taking adjustment. Okay, I got it. Okay, at the end of the day, when I'm going to the left, to the right. I mean, at the end, I get estimation, but it's a risk taking. I love the word risk. No, you are just managing risk. We are managing probabilities. Okay, if I go to the left, there are just two ships. If there are to the right, there are four ships. But I'm gonna be helping because I'm gonna get a similar team in one side to the other. Okay, that's kind of adjustments you need to be taking. Okay, if I'm doing this, that, and then disagreement. Okay, the word disagreement is super important. Disagreement is like when you have an idea, when you think that you are right and you have the solution, you are in this exercise to find out the solution in the path. Okay, to find out the solution, you need to consider other people. You need to consider other people that they know. Okay, that they are talented, that they know what they are talking about, that what they are telling you about what you are proposing, because maybe you are not so right and you want to listen why you are not so right. You want to listen like why these people they think that you yeah, how can I say, you are biased, you are forgetting some variables, you are um, too stubborn, no? So you want to consider that. Then we go to another book which is also amazing, Principles by W. Ray. This is more nowadays, this is more from today's. It's awesome, please read that. And he's saying something that he describes that decision making. He describes like think of every decision as a bet. I love the word bet. That's it. It's a bet. You are betting for something with a probability and reward for being right and a probability of and a penalty for being wrong. This is the key. This is the key. Every time you are taking a decision, you are thinking, okay, if what I'm saying is right, that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna have this reward. That's why I'm doing. Or if I'm doing the opposite, I'm gonna have a penalty. Which how bad is the penalty? And as we mentioned, probabilities. It's a probability. It's higher. It's low, and then you need to decide. But that's very important. Of course, as I said, it's a formula, and the formula maybe you don't know all the variables, and maybe luck is gonna be there to be lucky. Sometimes you don't know that, but you can increase the probability by doing so many things, by knowing the type of ship, by knowing even the player, by knowing with information you're gonna be able to decide better, and that's super important. And in a company, every decision you are taking, you need to be taking that properly. And what Dario is saying, which he's 100% right, is it's not so much about the system that matters, but it's about to understand what you are talking about and what you are doing. So if you don't really deep understand why this is happening, mm, it's not that you are not gonna take the right decision, but it's gonna be a not a um, um, long term investment for yourself, because you're gonna just be waiting for to be lucky, no, and not because the data was telling me that. Yeah. Okay, and we go to the next point, which I'm currently researching more about this thing, and it's about systems thinking. I suggest to go to YouTube or some web page I can share with them that is about this topic, systems thinking. This is about um, understanding how is all the, let's say, organizations and all the, well, as the name is saying, systems, and think deeper into them. Okay. um, it's going to be a continuous evaluation about when you are in the street and you are looking to the people and you are thinking what they are thinking. No, it's you are continuously taking evaluation and sometimes judgments, sometimes just assumptions. No, depending the emotion that you need to remove. But here in this topic, in this area, there this is a kind of philosophy, okay, more than an area. It's a philosophy, and in some videos they are telling you that there is these four types of component in the system thinking. One is the identity, so it's the parts. There is a pencil, and the pencil has different parts to do a pencil. The different system of parts, okay, what we said, pencil has, it's a pencil, it has the name pencil, but it's composed by the different parts of the pencil, no? Relations, okay, relationships about cause effect. If I write in a paper, then I'm gonna draw, no? So this is a cause effect. Of course, they are more complex, but in a company, hey, what is this happening? And then the perspective, no? Depends how I'm, my point of view, I'm gonna be changing that. Okay, I added this image because I think that that's lovely. This also is going against what is talking about the the I don't remember the sentences. The culture, it's the strategy for breakfast, no, something like that. Okay, here is saying slightly different, no, and it's like okay, yeah, of course, culture is very important. That's clear. But even having the right culture, maybe you are not gonna succeed, no. And what is the most important, okay, is about well, mental models and system structure, how it works. Okay, the events is what is happening. Okay, there are different dots. Okay, patterns of behavior, that's the point I'm trying to focus more, okay, in my position, trying to get patterns. Okay, if someone one day he arrived late, doesn't matter, but he's every day arriving late, then something is happening. Then this letting these patterns is because we set a structure. Okay, there is yeah, a structure that lets you to do this pattern to happen. Maybe you, if you don't let people, I don't know, yeah, you can set boundaries. You can say, okay, if this doesn't happen, if you don't arrive to the flight, then the flight is over, so you don't even go. So hey, if you know that it's happening, probably the people they're gonna get delay, no. So and then the mental models. Okay, what is the assumptions and beliefs to shape the system? No? What is influencing internally and in background and modifying that? No, at the end we're humans. We are humans, and we are making mistakes. So we need to be very careful and identify that properly. Okay, so that's very interesting. I really love this screen. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna talk more about system thinkings, but here you can understand a little bit the complexity about the system thinking. Its effects to so many areas. It's not only even engineering or management. It's everything can be system thinking. It's about the identification and setting a language and layers and trying to understand like what is happening and the different parts that make that happen. Okay, so it's a very deep in. One of the tactics that I am using for my system thinking is the zoom out. So when you have a problem, you try to zoom out, and it's the same like when you are looking at the trees, you cannot see the forest. No, so this is the kind of system of thinking. There is different, well, there are so many modeling archetypes. I'm not going to go there inside, but this is a super complex topic that, hey, when you are in the game, you are doing a system thing, and every time you are playing a new battle, you are doing this retro analysis, and you are becoming better. Okay, and then this is the kind of last one. It's about cheating. Okay, you are in the game, you can do some cheats. No, in this case I have not done, so I promise I haven't done, but I did a bit of brainstorming. No, like okay, what could happen? No, for example, in the game you can rebuild the map. Okay, you can download the application in the Android. You can disassemble the application, you can decode, and then you can change parameters maybe, and you can re-encode, and you can install the application, so you can have some superiority against the others. No, for example, you could rebuild the map. Probably the server is sending you the location of all the enemies all the time, but you in the client in the phone you are shadowing, okay, who is there and there. So maybe you can do that. Maybe some people they know who is in the map, even they don't have the visibility, so they can make a much better strategy. They are never gonna get in front of one of the ships that they hate. No, you can make some predictions when you are launching torpedoes. There is automatically kind of you see a range where if you shoot the torpedo you're gonna get more probabilities. So maybe you can do the same with other type of guns. No, you can find out like okay, if I'm shooting to this area, I'm gonna be more accurate. No, so by AI, by machine, you can calculate. Okay, this is the speed of the enemy. This is going here, there. So you can find out that. Or maybe you can even send wrong coordinates. No, you are playing and you are sending to the server like, okay, no, I'm not here, I'm there, no, and it's like, what the fuck, no? So you can cheat, no? Probably probably in the game you can cheat. Of course, there are measures, etc., but probably there is a way to cheat. Okay, I hope nobody use that, but hey. So let's go to the companies, no? I mean, in the game you can cheat. Okay, so what's going on? I think that cheating needs to be understood in another terms. So it has a negative connotation. So it means that if you are cheating, there's something you're gonna have to be paying later. There's gonna be a debt. There is something that you people they're gonna trust on you. People they're gonna understand later. They're gonna discover. I think so. No, so I will be very careful about cheating. But instead of cheating, I will go more to the second point. That it's about hacking or think out of the box. No, so you don't need to just think that what you know right now is what it is and that's over. No, so no, you need to think about out of the box to try to figure out what is the next level, no, the next challenge. Um, mm, in this case is to become creative. No? You need to become creative in the different in the moment. You need to say, okay, how can I solve the problem? How about if I looked from another perspective? And this is very interesting because you are not playing with the rules, but you are creating the new rules. You are like doing something that no one else was thinking about. No, we have invent so many things in the humanity because we just try to things that didn't make sense, but at the end of the day, it makes a lot of sense, which I think is very interesting and it's very, very powerful. So, of course, you cannot have a submarine in the game and you shoot to the others because it doesn't exist yet. But in the mobile version, okay. But you in the company can be can do a lot of magic, no? And this magic is necessary in a lot of in a lot of situations. You're gonna need to think out of the box. Okay, so that's my suggestion. Maybe you are not gonna use cheating, but you're gonna be doing something else. Okay, that is gonna be very very creative, very innovation driven. Okay, so the conclusion, at least from my point of view, of course, maybe this is an excuse, no, of playing so much to the game. Well, I didn't play so much. The truth is, I didn't play so much, but I play enough. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome because and it's very useful because you are learning. You are when you get this motivation to be the best. When you are like trying to learn from every game, your brain is changing. Your brain becomes very, very rational. Your brain is like, hey, if I go to the left, it's gonna happen. So that that exercise is going to be very beneficial for yourself for later. Another thing I have been doing is not only to this game or other games, small games, is Sudokus. No, it's much more simple than this the game of the ships, but it's also very interesting the experience to be learning all the time. Like, okay, well, yeah, that's you know that there is a solution in the Sudoku. You know that there is a solution, and you just need to look better, no? And that learning, that lesson is super important. In this case, in the game, just doing everything I explained, okay, trying to categorize, analyze, give a rational about everything, and know that hey, it's my fault if I don't win. Even of course, it's gonna be super super difficult to win by myself. You can do amazing things. You can really in 7 minutes you can surprise a lot of people and have a feeling like wow, I made something amazing, no? And they know that I made something amazing. Um, just don't get too addicted, okay? But I think that everybody, all of you, if you are playing video games and you have someone who is annoying you, like, oh, playing video games is no future, nothing. No, no, you can share this video and tell them and share with them, like, no, no, playing video games, that's giving you a lot, give a lot in your brain, your capacities for taking decisions, to think about what you need to, the variables that you need to take in consideration, and you know that every simulation, every battle, okay, every battle that is the simulation is going to make you better. So you need to apply that to the company, no? So you need to be very humble and say, hey, here in my company there are so many people that know more than me. Hey, they can give me their experience, so I don't have to make the same mistakes again and again. Okay, that's very important. I think so. Um, so yeah, that's it. I'm gonna wrap up this. I'm gonna click to the finish button. I hope it record properly. So yeah, feel free to leave any question in the comments. Maybe you didn't like it, or you can tell up. And yeah, feel free to leave questions, comments. If you have any question about even the game, I mean, you're like, oh, Sergio, how is? Right, I can explain you, or even some of the topics that I mentioned. I can give you more information. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much for watching until here. So, bye bye.